Welcome to Trading Lounge and the Bitcoin report for Wednesday, January 19. I'm going to keep it pretty simple today, and but I want to have a look at a couple of other little things. So this is the crypto index here. Well, there's plenty of crypto indexes. This one is just of the top 10 crypto assets, and as you can see on this weekly chart, the stochastics is lowering down here for a buying opportunity. Obviously the lines haven't crossed over just yet, so yeah, look, I thought that was sort of interesting. And in terms of looking at longer term charts like this, we can see from the Glassnode chart here that this is the short term, the supply held by the short-term holders. So that means that when these dips come in, we can see these dips here on these lows here is changing over to long-term holders. So there's more long-term holders coming into play here. So they can kind of back that up in terms of Glassnode's supply held by short-term traders in that regard. So the people that bought in this bull market through here, they are really more of these people have been holding on to their coins, and I'm one of them. I was buying at 10,000, and as you know, a lot of interest from the public and other reasonably big players coming in. They're really all holding their coins at this point. So that's what's happening there, and sort of shows up here. One of my main concerns in terms of Elliott wave is that this move down here counts quite nicely as 5 waves. So in that case, we're tossing up if this is a low or there's one more low to come in here before we have that low. But there's a good case that we can have a 3-wave move back up here and another move further down in this, and in a couple of different patterns. But yeah, so this is what we're going to be talking about. It's possible for it just to continue to move up through here, but then all of this would become a running flat. So an A wave here, an ABC here for the B wave, and down for the C wave here in this particular case, you know, and moving to the upside. But yeah, so with Bitcoin here on this 2-day chart here, I've just really gone for a couple of basic counts here because just to keep it sort of simple, but there are other counts that can be taken on board here as well with this. When you get into wave 4s, be wave 4 low here or wave 4 over here or whatever, you know, I mean, wave 4s are nightmares. There's out of the 11 or 12 different types of Elliott corrections, you know, they can pretty much all be shoved into wave 4. So there's a lot of other things that can come across here. I mean, my thing was that that the market, you know, I just look for the basic pattern as I always keep harping on about, which is not that one there, but this one here. So when we've got, if this is the 50,000 through here, the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then a move down below the 50, and if it ever gets back up on the 50, well, then that's my buying opportunity. That's how I see it. That's how I trade. And it doesn't matter really what degree of structure I'm looking at. That's how I do it. So this being the 50,000 here, that would be the setup here. Now, of course, we can poke around the bottom here, and if we see a nice impulse wave, we can build in, and that's exactly what we'll do. But until we get this, then it's really a little bit unconfirmed for me, and this is the 50 across here, so we'll need to get that support there. Having this as 5 waves down here, as I mentioned on the it was very clear on the CME futures, but I'm not going to go there today. We looked at that yesterday. There's a good case that we can come down for, be it wave 1, or as other folks have mentioned, we can look at this as an A wave here and a B wave here and a C wave here, and we can go into a variety of other patterns as well. But yeah, I think that we just need to be mindful that this can be counted as 5 waves down. Now, the question really here today is that the low, or do we have one more low? And as I mentioned before, that you know, we can look at this top here as, well, an A wave here, and a B wave here, and a C wave coming down here, or we can look at all of this as wave 1 here, and then have wave 2 sitting in here, and that's also valid. And we looked at that with Ethereum yesterday, and we can have a look at that with Bitcoin today, and we'll look at Ethereum as well with that, and we'll just shore up our any long trades that we're going to put in here. I don't trade this, I'm a hodler, so I take a long-term view. Mine's like way out there in 10 years, so it doesn't bother me where I buy. The lower it goes, the more I'll buy. It's as simple as that. So, but we can look at it as wave 1 or 2, and there's no reason why we can't look at it as wave 3 here and 4 down here, and then and then wave 5 up here for a primary wave 3 at that point, and then get a much more confusing pattern in here as well, by the way. Like as we've got it at this stage, we've got this as an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. We're in the latest stages of the whole correction here. But if we call this a top of wave 5 here, and we've got wave 3 here, well, then we're just starting a larger waveform. So it can get a whole lot more complicated. But getting support back up on the 50 here with a little classic trading levels pattern in this space here, that would tell me that we're going higher at that point. We can also have this as I mentioned before as well, we can have this as a running flat here, which would be the A wave here, the B wave here, and the C wave here as wave 4. And then move up from that point. That's possible. We don't normally see running flats that often, but if it was going to occur, it would occur in the crypto market because, you know, it's on heat, you know. Yeah, so it's really all about this down here at the moment. So we need to sort of focus on that. But before we go there, we can have a look at a bit of a bullish count. Now, I know that most people have counted as a WXY down here, and we've done that on Ethereum, but it can still be counted from wave 1 up here as an A wave here, an A, B, C for the B wave here, 1 and 2 here, and down for 3. This counts as 3 waves up here. On Ethereum, it counts as 5 waves, but here you have to count it as 3 waves. So it would leave wave 3 over here with an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave for wave 4, and then down for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now we can cramp. We can put wave 5 over here and put this over here, and we can squeeze wave 5 in there. Wave 4 and 5, it's pretty small, but it's doable to squash it in there. And I wasn't really sort of fussed about all of that, because at the end of the day, if we were going to be going long, then we can just simply look at this as wave 1 here and wave 2 here, and really it's all about the setup. So wave 1 here with an ABC pattern here, and we're just, as we mentioned last time, just buying out the high here. Today we'll look at it. We'll look at see how closer we can get to the market at that particular point. So we're still working the trend here and working the trade setup. So yeah, we're looking to be sort of long on the 4300, 43,000 here. So 43,000. We'll take a closer look at that a bit later, and that goes the same for Ethereum as well. We just go to the hourly chart here first of all, just finish this off. So once again, like I mentioned, we can go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and squash it in here because it was a little bit dodgy in here. I can just move all these over. I could move that 5 to here, and that 3 to there, and that 4 to there, and then this 4 down on top of this 4, and this 5 over to here. So I can squeeze it in. That's not a problem. And then we'd be looking at this as wave 1 over here for this, and coming back for wave 2 setup here. And as I mentioned before, we can look at this here as the A wave, the B wave, and 5 waves down here. So we've got wave 1 and 2 here, and we can look at all of this as the third, as wave C here of 2, so an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. And it looks like we've got a bit of a move up there, so that looks a bit promising. It'd probably need another move up there, so we could look at this from the low here. It looks like there'd be a 1 and 2 in here, so we'd still need to see this here, and then an ABC to pull back at this point. So this is why it was really important to have the 43 here as a classic trading levels pattern. So that would be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and then an ABC pattern here, and then we'll go long. Then we call a long at this point, because we really want to have a look at a safe trade rather than just, you know, thinking that you're missing out on something. I mean, what's the difference? A few $1,000s here in terms of a market that's going to end up at sort of 80,000, you know. So it's not a big deal to wait. So yeah, I mean, this could all be looked at this could be looked at as 1 and 2 and 1 and 2 here, and then coming down further. So it's really important not to get trapped. I mean, of course, we're going to get a bounce off the 61.8% mark. That always is the case. But will it be sort of backed up at that point? So we need to be above the 61.8%, and then you need to gravitate over to the closest largest number, which would be the 43 there. So no change in our strategy. And if the market does come down further in terms of 1 and 2, and maybe 1 and 2 and come down further here, then we'll pick it back up on the 40,000 here and look at it at that point. So all I can say today is that if the 43,000 becomes the support, and we would need a classic trading levels pattern there, so the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, and that's your first reference point to go along, we can drop it down to the second one, or we may even get a better entry in here, and inside of this little pattern here will be this bigger pattern. So there'll be the arrival, the reaction, the first high above the level, an ABC pattern. So you can refine it further and further. They're just fractals, so no biggie. But getting support on top of number 3 here, which is minor group 1 of 40, then a tested support here would separate the market being pulled by this number at that point. And normally we just look at this top here, then we drop it down to this top, just like we're doing now, and then we move in over here. So we're doing all the right things at the right time, and that way it keeps us safer, and we'll be able to manage our stops and everything at that particular point. You could get in a little bit earlier here if you can count an impulse wave up through there. It looks pretty chirpy at this particular stage, so there is a glimmer of hope for that. But yeah, I always know too that a market coming down into group 1 bounces around a lot, so you just need to be a little bit careful of that. So over to Ethereum here. From the top here, it's got a better chance of counting this down as a WXY from 1 over here, because you can go an A, B, C here for this, an A, B, and C for this, because that's in 5 waves, and then an A and a B and a C wave down here for this in terms of 1 and 2, and we talked about this yesterday, so I don't really need to go over too much, but 3, 4, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here for that. And then here we've got wave 1, an A and a B and a C for wave 2. Now, will this count be correct? I don't know, but as a trader, we'll be looking to go long above, well, we start from this level, then we drop it down to this level, and then we'll be looking at this over here. So once again, we've got group 1 here of 3,000, which is a major trading level, so 1, 2, and 3. So we'd need to get, like, we want the market to prove to us that it's strong. It's got to prove to us it's going to be making new highs, and that's the number to do it. That would be the safe trade. But otherwise, this can just still burn lower here. This move from this low here, roughly, you can refine it all and make it all pretty. But we're right on that 61.8%. So you can expect support here. But will it hold? Will it show us? Will it prove to us that there is that there is a proper support here? Will we get an impulse wave up off the low there? I mean, that could be the start of it at that particular point. But yeah, I'm not that sort of fussed on it. We'll pick it up tomorrow and look at it, and we'll keep working it. And if we can find a way in, like something, if we get, let's just assume for a moment that it does move up, we would want to see 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 here, sort of thing. We want to see a decent move. We'd want to see something like this, and then we buy the pullback. That's what we would be doing at that, roughly at that point. So it still just ties into here and all of that. Large numbers are like magnets, so it's going to pull it to that. So we'll just see how they all go. That's all. We're not there yet with it though. But yeah, okay. I'm just going to leave it short and sweet. We don't have a trade set up yet. There is the possibility that it can move higher. But like I say, the market's got to prove to me that it is strong and it is doing all the right things, and will do all the right things at the right time in line with the market and what the market will do. I'm not sure just yet. The market is the shepherd and we're the sheep, and we just need to follow the market. Alrighty, cheers.